You're watching Good Morning Carolinas with Jason Glassfold, Crystal Costa, meteorologist Darren Stack, and Amanda Kinson.
Thanks for waking up with us. Okay, so staff at a dog training business in Murrells Inlet, they are working to dispel the myths. There's a lot of myths about dogs and certain breeds that they can be vicious or they can hurt people, when that's not necessarily the case.
No, they think that all dogs are trainable with positive reinforcement. So WPDE News Channel 15's Amanda Kinson is live in Murrells Inlet at the Happy Canine Academy. Love that name. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, yeah, that's right. Positive reinforcement, it helps train the dogs. It also helps rehabilitate the dogs. And who do we have with us this morning?
We have the beautiful Miss Shamrock, who is a rescued pit bull. She was actually dropped at a shelter with a broken leg and had just had a litter of puppies. And she was completely emaciated and in really, really bad physical and mental condition.
Okay, and you guys have helped her come a long way, huh?
Yes, we have. Her mom is a wonderful person who adopted her from the shelter, and she came to us to help her overcome her anxiety and insecurities. This is a big deal for Sham to be able to be here today and do this with a happy wagging tail. But essentially, positive reinforcement training actually inspires dogs to do the behaviors they need to do to be a good canine family member. All the techniques we use to rehabilitate and foster these guys are based on a relationship of cooperation, trust, respect, and love.
Okay. Now, just having the dog lay there, that right there means a trained dog. I mean, you know, some dogs would be up and all over the place, right?
Absolutely. This is actually mat behavior, which, as you can see, is one of Shamrock's favorite behaviors. But the mat we use actually to teach the dogs that there's a safe place for them to go. So if they are feeling insecure, uncomfortable, or anxious, the mat is something that we build a lot of positive association with so that they have a very strong desire to want to be on it and are more focused, as you see on their handler, than they are worried about the environment.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, if you were throwing treats at me, I'd probably want to hang out on the mat,
maybe
too.
Some brownies?
Yes, chocolate, anything chocolate.
There you go.
There
you go.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And I wonder if I lay down, will you start throwing some brownies at
Well,
me?
we have to go get some first, but yeah, I'll throw you some brownies.
All right, we got to go run and get some brownies. We'll be back later, guys.
A couple Dove chocolates, you know, throw them down, Hershey Kisses.
That should be a great live shot, Amanda. Catching the chocolate, that's great. We love these kind of segments. We're all big dog lovers around here. Murrells Inlet Business works with local animal rescue organizations to make sure that the dogs who need permanent homes are ready for their new families even before they're adopted.
WPDE News Channel 15's Amanda Kinson is live at the Happy Canine Academy in Murrells Inlet with the details. Did you get your treats, Amanda?
You know what? We went to the store for brownies, and they're still closed. So,
no treats for you.
No treats for me, but we've got the treat for the dogs, and that's the important part. All right, so we met Shamrock earlier. Who is this?
This is actually Heather. We are currently fostering her through Grand Strand Golden Retriever Rescue.
She's beautiful.
Isn't she precious? She was actually abandoned, her mom and the whole litter of puppies, and she was full of worms and scared to death of everything. I was actually asked to foster her because she was fear aggressive with people. Because she was, you know, lack of exposure and probably had some pretty bad interactions. So they asked me to work with her and help rehabilitate her.
Well, now she seems just like the sweetest thing ever.
She is. She's a sweetheart, and she'll make somebody a wonderful, wonderful little pup.
Yeah, so you know, she's being fostered. You know what that means? You can take home this dog.
Absolutely, absolutely. And she deserves a very loving, patient family who will allow her to get used to her environment at her pace. But she's very playful, very affectionate, great with other dogs, and you know, Grand Strand Golden Retriever Rescue did a wonderful thing by rescuing that whole litter.
Yeah, you bet.
And the mommy.
So get a hold of them if you want to take home this dog and, you know, continue the positive reinforcement, right?
Absolutely. That's so important because the positive reinforcement training is actually what inspires them to want to do all the behaviors we need them to do as a good canine family member. So everything that we do is based on building a relationship with them on cooperation, trust, respect, and love. And as you can see, she's very connected with me.
That's right.
And she trusts me. And it's not just because I'm holding food, I promise. But
there's more to it.
Yes, there's more to food.
Always helps. You know?
Food is good.
There's just something
well,
about
it's about what each dog finds rewarding. So for Honey or Heather, it's all about food.
There you go. All about the food, guys.
That's the way to pretty much everyone's heart. I think it's food. But you know, it's perfect because they train them. They get it. You don't have to put out that effort too. So that's another benefit for going to get the dogs.
True, and then you learn too how to treat them once you get home. Yeah. Otherwise, it could be a mess, right?
Many dogs that are rescued out of bad situations need some rehabilitation and training before they are adopted out to loving homes.
WPDE News Channel 15's Amanda Kinseth is live at the Happy Canine Academy in Murrells Inlet with how they get man's best friend ready for a new environment. Hey, Amanda.
That's right, and positive reinforcement is the way to go. This is Shamrock, and Shamrock has gone through a lot of rehabilitation.
She has. She was actually a throwaway puppy. She was left at a shelter, completely emaciated, and had a broken leg that she had to have amputated.
Yeah.
And so she had a really tough time, but she's a happy girl now.
Yeah, she was in some really bad shape when you guys got her. I mean, just, you know, it's so sad to think about. But it's got a happy ending.
It does.
Shamrock came here, and she's doing much better. Positive reinforcement. Let's take a walk over to the pad. You can see
Yay! Good girl.
There we go. Moving around like she had 4 legs, right?
Oh, yes. What a good girl. Yes. Dogs are very resilient. Very resilient. They quickly adapt.
And now this is not your dog, but you can tell that there's a lot of trust between you, and that's really important.
Absolutely. This is actually one of my students' dogs. Obviously we've worked together, but positive reinforcement training, the great thing about that is it really establishes such a wonderful connection and bond with the dog. They trust you, they're eager to connect with you and be with you, and also eager to do all the behaviors we need them to do. So as you can see, to go from where she came from to this, she's a very happy girl, and she's very eager to work. She loves it. She's actually eating her breakfast right now.
Yeah.
This is her breakfast.
Yeah, so by the positive reinforcement, you're talking about everything that you want them to do, then you reward them and tell them what a good job that they did.
Positive reinforcement training actually rewards them for making good choices, so that we inspire them to want to do the behaviors that we're looking for instead of having to, instead of waiting to be corrected. We focus on communicating with them what we want them to do and make sure that we figure out what's really rewarding for them and use that as a reinforcement to say, hey, that was great. So then that builds a positive association and they're ready to go.
Well, I have to say I'm going through the same thing with a 2-year-old right now. Potty training.
Yes,
good job.
yes.
High five. You did it. Positive reinforcement. The way to go, guys.
It's amazing what positive energy will do for animals.
For anybody, yeah.
Yeah, especially dogs. Well, certain breeds of man's best friend really get a bad rap for, you know, maybe being an aggressive breed or thought to be aggressive.
Yeah, but those who work at one Murrells Inlet business, they are believe that all dogs can be good dogs if they are trained right with positive reinforcement. And this morning we find WPDE News Channel 15's Amanda Kinseth live at the Happy Canine Academy there. Hey, Amanda.
That's right, making all dogs happy and the owners happy too. And you know, what you guys do, this positive reinforcement, that's really good for maybe some of the adoptable pets who might be of a breed. You know, people get scared of some breeds, but like you mentioned, you know, you can train anybody. It's just about positive reinforcement.
It's about getting to know that dog specifically, what their triggers are, what scares them, what creates the behavior, and then working on counter conditioning, desensitizing them very slowly at their pace, and helping them learn that whatever that thing is, whether it's other dogs or people or sounds, giving them a positive association instead of the negative one that they currently have.
Right, because some of the dogs in the shelters, you know, you don't know what their home life may have been before that, but a lot of them maybe have high anxiety or some issues that you need to work through.
You absolutely do, and the nice thing is that there is help. You know, there's people out there that have dogs that they adopted maybe that they're being reactive to when they take them out for walks, and it's frustrating. But you know, this is my passion, and there is help, and I've been blessed to be able to see a lot of dogs really come a long way. For example, little Heather here, she actually was very fear aggressive of people. When she first came to me, I'm fostering her right now.
Yeah, and now she is absolutely adorable. Just look at her. She needs a home. This dog
needs a
home.
A very special home. She's a special girl. She deserves the best. But she's come a long way, and this was a little girl that would bark and growl if anybody came near her.
You say that, and I can't even imagine, because we've spent the last couple hours with this dog, and she's just wonderful. So, you know, there's a lot you can do with the positive reinforcement, and of course, those treats, they come into play a little bit.
Well, as she finds them highly rewarding, this is her breakfast.
Yep,
She's willing to work for breakfast.
There you go, treats for breakfast, guys.
It's amazing what we all do for food,
For
you know?
It's the way to all of our
I love
hearts.
what they're doing though with the rehabilitation, because they come out of such awful homes a lot of times.
Right.
And then they got to go through a process, a rehabilitation process.
And the breeds get a bad rap, like pits or, you know, different breeds. So I like this
I
positive.
know we're short on time, but you know, pit bulls were bred to be nanny dogs to take care of children. So when you think of it like that, they really do get a bad rap.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Hey.